So basically, earlier, Zoe and another person asked me for the thing, the record thing, to read the first chapter of not The Fault in Our Stars, the first page rather of your favorite book. So I have my favorite book right here, which is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. It's a pretty freaking awesome book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Just, yeah, go read it if you haven't already. It's a good book. Right. Chapter 1. Late in the winter of my 17th year, my mother decided I was depressed. Presumably because I rarely left the house, spent quite a lot of time in bed, read the same book over and over, ate infrequently, and devoted quite a bit of my abundant free time to thinking about death. Whenever you read a cancer booklet or website or whatever, they always list depression among the side effects of cancer, but in fact, depression is not a side effect of cancer. Depression is a side effect of dying. Cancer is also a side effect of dying. Almost anything is, really. But my mum believed I required treatment, so she took me to see my regular Dr. Jim, who agreed that I was vertebrally swimming in a paralyzing and totally clinical depression, and that therefore my meds should be adjusted and I should also attend a weekly support group. This support group featured a rotating cast of characters in various tumor-driven states of unwellness. Why did the cast rotate? Side effect of dying. The support group, of course, was depressing as hell. It met every Wednesday in the basement of a stone-walled Episcopal church shaped like a cross. We sat in the circle right in the middle of the cross, where the two words would have met, where the heart of Jesus would have been. I noticed this because Patrick, the support group leader and only person over 18 in the room, talked about the heart of Jesus every freaking meeting, and all about how we, as young cancer survivors, were sitting right in Christ's very sacred heart and whatever. So here's how it went in God's heart. When 6 or 7 or 10 of us walked or wheeled in, grazed at the decrepit selection of cookies and lemonade, sat in the circle of trust, and listened to Patrick recount for the 1000th time his depressingly miserable life story. How he'd had cancer in his balls, and they thought he was going to die. But he didn't die, and now here he is, a full-grown adult in a church basement in the 137th nicest city in America. Divorced, addicted to video games, mostly friendless, eking out a meager living while exploiting his cancer-tastic past. Slowly working his way towards a master's degree that will not impress his career prospects. Waiting, as we all do, for the sword of Damocles to give him the relief that he escaped below those many years ago, when cancer took both of his nuts, but spared only what the most generous soul would call his life. And you too might be so lucky. And then we introduce ourselves. Name, age, diagnosis, and how we were doing today. I'm Hazel, I'd say when they get to me. 16, thyroid event of fucking hell. Oh my goodness. Thyroid event. What the fuck? Thyroid originally, but with an impressive and long settled satellite colony in my lungs. And I'm doing okay. Once we got around the circle, Patrick always asked if anyone wanted to share. And then began the circle jerk of support. Everyone talking about fighting and battling and winning and shrinking and scanning. To be fair to Patrick, he led us talking about dying too. But most of them weren't dying. Most of them would live into adulthood, as Patrick had. Which meant that there was quite a lot of competitiveness about it, with everybody wanting to beat not only cancer itself, but the other people in the room. Like, I realize this is irrational, but when they tell you that you have, say, a 20% chance of living 5 years, the math kicks in and you realize that's 1 in 5. So, you look around and think, as a healthy person would, I gotta outlast 4 of these bastards. yeah, there we go. That was actually 2 pages and a half. But I like this book so much that you get to hear a little bit more of it. And also it helps me with reading out loud. Because I'm not very good at it. I know there were other questions. It was 2, 9, 12, and 13. What was number 9? I can't remember. I know that the other 2 were... 12 was talk about what scares you the most or something. Really, what I'm most scared of is being left alone in the dark, mainly. Because, like, I know it sounds pathetic, but I don't like the dark without a flashlight. And even with a flashlight, it's horrible. I don't know. It's weird. 13 was talk about the thing that makes you most happy, which is kind of ironic because it's the person who asked me the question. Yeah, Zoe. Zoe makes me happy. When I'm talking to her, everything seems okay. Yay, sappy shit. Yeah. I think that'll do it. Yep. Okay. That's 7 minutes. Yay, I made a 7-minute long video. That was my knuckles. I don't know if you heard that. My knuckles just cracked. It was painful. Okay, I'm gonna go sleep, probably. Yay.